Talking for this one. So now we're going to measure and mark out the sides of the throwing weight box, the box that provides the weight to throw the arm over. There is a template which will be printed out, and either you can measure and mark out on the MDF and cut it out, or you could cut out the template and stick it onto the MDF. It should fit, it should be the right size. I'm going to show you how to measure and mark out. There's two pieces, but when we come to cut it, we can stick them together, so we're cutting them out at the same time. So the one piece is not going to get measured and marked out. This is. The first thing I'm going to do is find the center line and down the middle of the wood. So I need to measure 140, half of 140 is 70. And I'm going to assume that this is square, so I can use the tri-square to transfer that line. Like our orthographic lesson earlier this year, a centre line is a long, thin, long, out, long, short line. So we know that's the centre line down the middle. From my drawing, I know that 15mm down that line is where the pivot hole will be drawn. So I can simply measure that and put a cross in there. And that point is where I'm going to drill the hole, the dowel to go through. I'm going to use a centre punch. I am not going to hit it with a hammer. I am simply going to use the point of the punch, pressing down with my hand, just to put a little dimple in the wood so I know that's where the drill's got to grip. On your drawing, you will show that it's 30mm there, so that's 15mm either side of the centre line. So I can line up the centre line with the 15mm mark and do 0 there and 30 there. And again, I'm going to use the tri-square to draw in my lines so they're perpendicular to the top of the MDF. You'll notice I flicked it over so there's more surface area contacting the handle, which keeps it straighter. If I slide it up this way, I've got less edge supporting the handle, and it can end up tipping one way or the other. I've got to measure down 40mm. Measure down and make a mark, and measure down and make a mark. And now what I want is the biggest curve possible at the bottom here. So the further down I go the centre line, for the centre of that curve, the bigger the curve will get. So I want the centre right at the very top. You could get a pair of compasses out and draw it with a pair of compasses. What I'm going to use is a pair of dividers. There's an adjuster wheel here, the top's sprung so they stay open, and there are 2 points. One way I could have used the dividers was to set them up to my 40mm, and I could have measured 40 and 40. So I'd measured once, put the dimensions twice. This time though, I'm going to put the point right at the very top as far as I dare, and then I will adjust the dividers right down to the other end of the MDF, the other side. And I can use a sharp point just to scratch a line into the MDF. There we go. There we go. And then from the 40mm down point, I'm going to just draw a straight line straight out to the point there. And from the 40mm line here, I'm going to do a straight line straight out there. So all of this bit that I'm shading, and this bit is going to get cut away, and I want to remain with this, except I want 2 pieces. So I'm going to tape the 2 pieces together with some masking tape. A bit fiddly, but just make sure they do line up before you wrap the masking tape over and back. Don't need too much, just like that is plenty. You'll notice I've done the masking tape at the top and the bottom, and that means I can cut down there along and round most of the way cut down here, along and round most of the way before I start cutting through the tape and the two parts falling apart. I'm at the Hegner saw, scroll saw. So there is a reciprocating arm that can go up and down. I just need to make sure the blade is tight enough. There we go. There is a safety guard at the front to stop you getting your fingers in. The foot needs adjusting so it's almost resting on the MDF or your piece of work, and that is there to stop your work flapping up and down. If you use it like this, you can see the work flaps up and down with the blade. That's no good, and you can cut your fingers off. So now it's going to saw and the work's not going to slap away. There in my room, the on button green, off button red, and behind it you can just see the isolator. So if I turn the isolator on, the red light comes on, and now I can turn it on and turn it off. It's quite noisy, so I'm not going to talk while I'm cutting. Because it creates dust, there is the tube coming off the side, so I will need the extractor on. And once I start cutting, there'll be too much noise. So hands either side so they slide there, and you are steering the work left, right as you cut. Do not turn it off and then turn the wood and then turn it on, because what that does is it twists the wood around, twists the blade, and that will just cause the blade to snap. If you need to turn to a different angle, then while the blade's cutting, just turn it. You'll see when I get to the corner here that I'll cut, turn it and cut. Okay, so I'm going to have to turn on the extractor and I'm going to have to turn on the saw. So, following my line, slowly, I'm steering it to keep it straight. When I get to the corner, while it's still going, I can turn it and then follow the other line. You might see all the dust. Do not be tempted to blow that away. You'll blow it into your face or end up breathing it in. Just tap that off, and that's the first. Cut along there, cut along there. If it's wiggly, just sand it with some paper. I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll take off the worst of these bits. And I've now got the shape. It's still taped together because I haven't cut round the bottom, so that's my next bit to do. I haven't done it the same. I'm not going to worry about that because eventually I'm going to put it on the disc sander and sand it around straight, so I'll be able to make a smooth curve later on. So 6mm drill securely clamped so it can't turn, drill lined up with the centre of the hole. Right, so later on, drill on, here we go. Still got the two pieces taped together. Unclamp. Tap off the dust, nice hole, nice hole.